What's up, guys? Today on People Now, Pink donates $1 million to help fight coronavirus and updates fans on her own recovery.
And a young boy with cystic fibrosis beats coronavirus. We have his inspiring story.
Plus, kindness and courage. We're highlighting Americans stepping up to do their part in the fight against COVID-19.
John Krasinski, Emily Blunt, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and the cast of Hamilton join forces to surprise a superfan. You don't want to miss this.
Plus, how a guy used his drone to find new love during social distancing.
That and more, all today on People Now. Let's go. Hey everyone, happy Monday. I'm Andrea Boehlke. I'm here in Wisconsin. Welcome to People Now. Jeremy, what did you do this weekend?
Hey, Andrea. Yeah, Jeremy Parsons here in New York. Okay, I fired up the grill. It was nice this weekend. It was in the 60s. It was my first grill, and then now I'm addicted to it, and I just want to do it every single day. And it honestly makes me nostalgic for what spring would have been like this time last year with having friends over and hanging out. But, we're doing it in quarantine, and that's fine too.
Yeah, it really does feel like spring now, even in Wisconsin. It's been kind of dreary, and then this weekend was really nice. I went on a lot of horseback rides with my family,
so nice.
And yeah, it was wonderful. But we have a lot to get to today, so we're gonna start with this.
Pink is opening up about her health and her recovery after testing positive for the coronavirus. The singer joined friend and author Jen Pasiloff for an Instagram live chat on Saturday, where she also explained how her 3-year-old son Jameson has suffered. Take a look.
My 3-year-old Jameson, who you just saw, had the worst of it, which
really
many nights where I've cried, and I've never prayed more in my life. It's funny. It's like at one point I heard myself saying, I thought they promised us our kids would be okay.
Jameson eventually joined in and shared that he is feeling better. Pink also said in part, quote, "There were many nights when I've cried and I've never prayed more in my life. There is no one that is safe from this." Pink said that while she and Jameson both got sick from the virus, her husband, Carrie Hart, and her 8-year-old daughter, Willow, have been healthy.
Pink revealed on her Instagram Saturday that she and Jameson had tested positive, and she captioned a picture of the two in a pumpkin patch, in part, quote, "2 weeks ago, my 3-year-old son Jameson and I were showing symptoms of COVID-19. Fortunately, our primary care physician had access to tests, and I tested positive. Just a few days ago, we were retested and are now thankfully negative. It's an absolute travesty and failure of our government to not make testing more widely accessible. The illness is serious and real." That was her statement. She continued by saying that the coronavirus affects, quote, "the young and the old, healthy and unhealthy, rich and poor, and we must make testing free and more widely accessible to protect our children, our families, our friends, and our communities."
Pink shared in her post that she'll be donating $500,000 to, quote, "the Temple University Hospital Emergency Fund in Philadelphia in honor of my mother, Judy Moore, who worked there for 18 years in the Cardiomyopathy and Heart Transplant Center." She also shared that she is donating $500,000 to the City of Los Angeles Mayor's Emergency COVID-19 Crisis Fund. Very generous donation there, and glad that she's starting to feel better. And in more positive recovery news, Joseph Bostaine, a 6-year-old Tennessee boy with cystic fibrosis, beat the odds after he contracted coronavirus and fully recovered.
Yeah, cystic fibrosis is a chronic lung disease that causes persistent lung infections, and it limits the ability to breathe over time. For those who have underlying health issues, contracting COVID-19 has been known to be especially dangerous, so we're really happy, of course, to hear that he's doing okay.
Joseph's mother, Sabrina, shared a heartwarming video on Facebook of Joseph flashing a wide smile as he says, "Thank you for all the cards and the prayers and the gifts. I'm a cystic fibrosis warrior, and I beat COVID-19. He's in great spirits, and it's so heartwarming to see.
Yeah, Joseph's mother first posted about his positive coronavirus diagnosis on March 19th, and then she continued to give regular updates throughout his condition during that 2-week period of isolation. But then on April 1st, Sabrina posted the good news of his recovery with the caption, "Today, Joseph can tell you how he's doing himself, and it was no April Fool's Day prank." We're so glad to hear that he recovered and that family's doing well.
Yes. All right, now we switch gears to this. Take a look.
New York, you can be a new man.
John Krasinski orchestrated the most perfect at-home surprise for one young fan. He called in Lin-Manuel Miranda and the original cast of Hamilton to surprise Hamilton's superfan, Aubrey, after she was unable to see the show as planned due to social distancing guidelines caused by the coronavirus.
It It was on the second episode of Krasinski's YouTube show called Some Good News, and it was so cute. The 9-year-old was overwhelmed when the cast surprised her with the performance of her favorite song, Alexander Hamilton, which is the opening number for the musical.
Yeah, Miranda, who played Hamilton, kicked off the performance on video conference before he was joined by Leslie Odom Jr., who portrayed Aaron Burr, and then Anthony Ramos, who portrayed the dual roles of John Laurens and Philip Hamilton. So as the performance went on, even more of the castmates joined in, so it grew and grew. Krasinski was also joined by his wife, Emily Blunt. No big deal. She co-starred with lin-manuel Miranda in Mary Poppins Returns to help pull off the surprise for the speechless Aubrey.
Aubrey's mom actually tweeted that instead of seeing Hamilton, they were watching Mary Poppins Returns from home instead. So it all sort of fits together. And in another sweet gesture, Krasinski even told Aubrey he plans to fly her and her mom to the Broadway show in New York when it's safe to do so.
In a time when a lot of people are feeling isolated, there are so many people going above and beyond to make a difference in their communities. And we are spotlighting those people in PeopleTV's new series, Kindness and Courage, Coronavirus in America.
Episode 1 is out now and showcases 3 amazing people who really stepped up to help in their own way, including one Maine landlord, Nathan Nichols, who decided to waive his tenants' rent for the month of April since he knew they were hourly workers and likely going to be affected by lost wages.
Nichols posted about his decision on Facebook and quickly went viral. He encouraged other landlords to have open conversations with tenants, be responsive to their needs during this difficult time. He was also stressing the fact that some landlords might not be able to financially help in this way.
Very kind of him. We caught up with Nichols in the first episode of Kindness and Courage about why he chose kindness for his tenants.
I didn't want them to have to decide whether they were going to go to work and potentially spread the virus or stay home and potentially not be able to pay rent. So I wanted to take that choice away from them so they could just focus on doing what was safe for themselves and for their community.
There are even more positive, uplifting stories in the episode, so check out Kindness and Courage on PeopleTV.
And stick around. In just a few minutes, we'll be joined by an engineer who is using his talents to 3D print face shields for healthcare workers. Really amazing stuff. You won't want to miss that.
People Now's Meditation Monday series continues today with the Stop, Breathe, and Think app. I love this idea. It lets you check in with how you're feeling every day, and their short activities can help all of us slow down and connect with our emotions a little better.
Yeah, their videos are great for the whole family to learn to work through intense emotions, whether it's worry or fear, basically anything that's getting in the way of feeling peace, which I think we can all use a little bit of right now.
Yeah, so today we challenge you to take 60 seconds and drop everything that you're doing. Listen to this short chill pill. So do nothing else but listen, breathe along, and relax.
Keep breathing naturally. And as you breathe, silently say the word in when you breathe in and out when you breathe out. If your mind gets busy, that's okay. It happens to everyone. Just notice that your attention has wandered and bring it back, saying in as you breathe in and out as you breathe out. Keep breathing. Now place your hand on your heart and take one last big breath in, and lower your hand to your side as you breathe out.
I mean, I love this idea, and also just listening to someone with a really soothing voice helps a ton, especially if it's one of the first things you do in the morning. I think it's at a time where we're kind of looking for routine. It's a really nice routine to get into.
Yeah, and it sets you up for the day. You're right. When I hear 60 seconds, at first I think, oh, okay, it's really quick. But when you really settle into it, that's a good amount of time. Plus, it's a bite-sized chunk that you can handle at any point in your day. Like, okay, give me a minute and reframe and reset. I love it.
Chrissy Teigen and John Legend are feeling the mixed emotions that come with social distancing. They joined Ellen DeGeneres for the first at-home edition of her talk show on Monday to discuss how they've been surviving self-isolation, calling it unreal. Take a look.
We're holding up fine, and it's just been an unreal, surreal experience for our family and everybody out there. So it's pretty crazy.
Who's dealing with it the best and who's dealing with it the worst? Chrissy, you told me early on this was a dream for you. This is the life you were meant to live, to just stay inside. John, it feels like to me you would want to be out busy.
Yes, John would love to be busier. He's still scheduling himself for so many different things, but for me,
everything's on Zoom, but I'm still staying kind of busy.
Now, while Chrissy and John's family has been passing the time with fun activities, including a stuffed animal wedding for Luna's furry friends, both Chrissy and John admit that staying indoors has taken a toll on them.
and it really hits you, and you go through these ups and downs, and it's what we're going through right now is unprecedented, and it's unreal. So.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to figure out, how to get through this. A lot of folks are out of work right now. A lot of folks are struggling and trying to figure out just how to take care of their family. And then we all have older relatives that we're all worried about because it hits them a little harder. And so we all have to stay in touch with them. So I think the key for all of us is to love each other, take care of each other, and stay in touch with each other.
Chrissy, John, and Ellen all agree that we have to find a silver lining in this tough situation, adding that it's going to be emotional when they can connect, touch, and be with people again. And we couldn't agree more.
All right, guys, as healthcare supplies are desperately needed across the country, we're seeing big corporations and companies stepping up to manufacture supplies and products that are needed. But we're also seeing individual people jumping in to do their part to help make supplies for their community. And one of those people is Jeff Smith. He's joining us now from Charleston, West Virginia. Jeff, and just to clarify, like, you're someone that I've known for a while now. We kind of grew up together to some degree. We've got a history. I've been following you on Facebook and seeing what you're doing. Let's just start out with what exactly you are making for the people in the community there.
Sure. So what we're actually doing is we're making these face shields, and this would go over, obviously, the healthcare worker or the frontline worker's face and protect them from splashes or even airborne items that would attach to the shield instead of attaching to their face and thus transmitting any kind of bacteria diseases.
Right. All right. And so you're doing all this with a 3D printer. And you were talking to me some about this yesterday. By the way, this isn't your job. You're a project manager for an engineering firm, right?
Yes.
And so this is just something you sort of got this 3D printer almost as a hobby a few years ago. And then something happened. You got to the point where you realized this is something you should do, something you could do. What was that moment for you?
Well, yeah, I've been 3D printing for a couple of years now. Gone through a couple of different printers, and I have a larger format one now that's able to take these kinds of things, because this is a pretty good footprint of an item that needs to print. If you didn't have a bed big enough, you'd have to split it into a couple pieces or whatever and then assemble it together. So now that I've got a larger bed, I can print things like this. But really, there was a big push in the 3D printing community to step up and to help out and to make things and items that are useful. I got the idea that the whole premise of this is widely available. There's different models and different printings, schematics and things available. And I kind of took that idea and thought, you know what, these healthcare workers, these frontline people, they don't have the equipment they need. They're desperate for anything to cover their face and protect them. And so, I just thought one day I could do that. I can make a shield that works for me and works for the materials I have to work with, because you can't just go on Amazon and buy what you need right now. It's going to be days or months. A lot of the stuff is shipping in months from now. So you had to work with what we've got. So I designed this frame to be thinner and flexible, but then at the same time strong.
Okay. And
to be able to take this plastic film that goes over the front of it to be able to be disposable. You can wear this frame. You get anything on it. You don't have to clean it off like the thicker, harder plastic shields that they generally use now. You have to clean them in between using them. This one you don't. You peel that off, you throw it away, you put a new one on. And so I thought I could do this with my experience, having a 3D printer, working with engineering, that I could put this together and make it happen. And this is the result.
So there you go. There you have it. And it's something that, as we were even mentioning before, we hear during press briefings and everything else, big cities need these, small towns need them. What's the response been like for you? Where are you sending these? Who's getting those?
Yeah, mostly local right now. People we know. My wife is in healthcare industry, so she has a lot of friends and nurses and frontline people. So we just kind of reached out on Facebook and said, hey, who could use something like this? And then, a lot of people stepped up. So, hey, I need one for this person. And then they shared the post, and then more people came in. EMS workers were begging for them. Police officers are begging for them who having to go to scenes where they can potentially be contracting and getting something, so they want this protection. So, we've made a couple hundred at this point and delivered out to frontline people.
Wow. And so what's the response been like as you've kind of gotten the word out and as people have found out that you're doing it?
It's amazing. It's a lot more than I expected, to be honest with you, because with the limited materials that I've got, I didn't expect to be making a couple hundred of these things. I thought, I'll make a couple 20 maybe, I don't know, for friends and family to protect them. And then, I was really moved by the response and people needing these. And I was shocked that all these people didn't have this equipment. And the fact that I could, with what I've got around my house, I could put this together and protect someone. The response has been amazing. There have been, so many pictures sent to me and thank yous and many things along those lines of people wanting out from out of states, messaging me saying, can you ship these to me? So it's been really good.
So here's a question for you. I mean, look, you're just a guy doing it, right? You just sort of stepped up and decided to do this. What's your message to other people out there that maybe think, hey, I could help, or should I help, or what should I do, or what can I do?
Don't wait. If the longer you wait to get involved, the more behind the curve we're going to be. If you have a 3D printer, if you have the capabilities, not everybody does. I understand that, but everybody can help in their own way and what they can contribute. And we need that now in the country. We need that in our local communities, people stepping up and helping out where they can.
Well, Jeff Smith, really good to talk to you, and great work that you're doing there. Thanks for taking a little bit of time today.
No problem. Thanks, Jeremy.
All right, stay with us. Wayne Brady's getting help from his daughter to up his game on TikTok. His first post was pretty good. We're going to show you. Plus, speaking of TikTok, it's a modern love story that is going viral right now. We get a relationship update from the guy who swapped numbers with his neighbor via drone amid social distancing.
All right, guys, we're so excited to be joined right now by the host of Entertainment Weekly's brand new show on Quibi. It's called Last Night's Late Night. Welcome, Heather Garner. Heather, good to see you.
Hi. Oh, so nice to see you too.
And I was saying before we started, I love your setup there. I love the show logo. You've got some interesting Quarantine 1, Heather 0. You're dialed in.
I mean, at this point, it's like Quarantine 10, Heather Milch. So, yeah, but this is the set. This is the makeshift at home, working from home, safer at home setup. Yeah.
All right. So the show, it starts tonight.
Oh,
It speaks for itself. We're recapping, right? What happened last night on Late Night. Give us a little taste, though, for what you're excited for fans to see here.
Oh, you know what? Listen, I think now especially everybody can use a few extra laughs, right? And our job is so fun because we get to watch every single one of the late shows that air and then laugh all night long and then present you the funniest bits of the night. I mean,
I love that.
Every single morning you get to start with just a laugh.
It's like, just cut away all the useless stuff. Give me the funny. And then get rid of the rest. And you're the person.
Exactly. I mean, we do love our late night hosts, not gonna lie, but no, there are these little gems, these moments that are just hilarious, and we're just giving them to you in like these little quick bites. It's great.
By the way, and you know what? One thing I'm really loving now, and I mean, I'm loving in the fact that we're in a bad situation here with the quarantines that are going on with the coronavirus. A lot of people are in a lot of pain. But aside from that, when there's also a lot of us just need entertainment, these late night shows doing their at-home episodes, I find them adorable and hilarious. And there's something really great about the personal connection we're starting to feel with a lot of these celebrities, particularly the late night hosts, as they're doing this from home. Isn't that interesting?
I have a whole new appreciation, because let me tell you, when everything was stripped away and I found out we were going to do my show from home, I did not take that very well. I freaked out, but these guys are pros, guys and ladies, excuse me. These people are pros, you know what? And I just have a whole new appreciation for just like stripping it all away. The lights are gone. The audience is gone, which is so hard for comedians. Everything is stripped away and we just get to see them. And I love it.
They're bringing in their friends, their family, their kids.
Their kids are so cute.
Who are you loving? What setup is maybe like your favorite right now?
Oh, the person who had the best setup right now was James Corden. Although he only did one special, I'm not sure if he's going to continue on. But his setup was unbelievable. They like made his garage into a whole set. But you know what? Jimmy Fallon has just kind of leaned into, this is my house, these are my kids, these are my life. And there's something to be said about that too. He's just filming his on an iPhone. I think everybody else is upgraded now to like a full setup. He's like, nah, I got Nancy, I got my kids. We're just gonna hang out on the slide.
Yeah.
You know, so I really like both of them.
I do too, and I like that. I'm digging the iPhone. Like, it just seems very real. It's like, hey, we're making like tents out of sheets, and we're hanging out with the kids. I mean, just whatever. It's just very real and very relatable for so many of us. I mean, I'm a parent, and I'm living in that world, the world of crafts and doing anything and everything to keep kids entertained and not driving you crazy. I love them, and I love the time we have together. But you can only.
I'm surprised I haven't seen one like, you know, wander in the background, because that happens.
Oh,
with the
they have some strict orders, and there's an iPad going. I'm not afraid of some screen time. All right, but let's talk about you. What are you doing? How's the work from home setup looking for you?
You know, I mean, it's not so bad, to be honest. The biggest challenge has been working with my husband, who, I mean, I can't do this by myself. Again, like I told you, I freaked out when I figured out, when they told me that I had to do this by myself, because it's hard, you know, as I'm sure you're learning. But my executive producer hired my husband on the spot to help with the set, the lights. Luckily, he's an audio engineer and producer, so it worked out completely well. So that has been an interesting thing, working from home, working very closely with him, and also living with him.
Yeah,
I think we're all dealing with that kind of scenario.
Well, it's funny. I was talking to someone on the show last week about that. There's kind of this spectrum of relationships, and this can be really good for your relationship and uncovering a new leaf. It can also be very challenging, right? Like,
I think, you know what? I think it just depends on the day.
It does. Depends on the moment, the day, and what happened yesterday and what happened 5 minutes ago.
Right. So we're not just like living together, we're also working together as well. I mean, it's been, like I said, a challenge, but also really rewarding, really fun.
Besides late night, what are you watching? What are you reading, listening to kind of get by?
Oh, okay. I have an unhealthy obsession with Tiger King. Unhealthy. I think everybody does.
Yeah, we're deeply into that. And at this point, I'm now like feasting on the memes so much that it's like a whole nother run for me for the whole series.
The Tiger King memes itself are wonderful, but I think just in general, the quarantine memes are getting me by. That and a nice big bottle of wine. No, but Tiger King, I grew up in Florida actually, so it's so funny to see the people freaking out about how insane their lives are, but I'm just like, oh, that's like normal life down in Florida.
Yeah, I grew up in the South too. I know some wild people, but I'll just tell you, but this is still surprising even me.
Yeah.
Let's just as we go, I just want to direct everyone to go back and watch Joe Exotic's eulogy, which was a sad moment, but one of the most chef's kiss, picture perfect moments of that entire series. Do yourself a favor. Hey, Heather, thank you so much. It's really a pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, so nice to talk to you too. Stay safe there in New York.
I saw her dancing right across the street on her roof. And, you know, I'm just attracted to the type of people in general that are positive and happy, especially during like sad, strange times like now. And it's okay to be sad, of course. Like, I mean, it's very sad and strange, and like no one really, it's a weird time right now, but it's also, I think it's totally okay to also find pockets of happiness too, and like find a distraction, and we should be able to still be happy and find joy.
All right, this is a true modern love story right here. With stay-at-home orders across the country obviously in place, it's getting harder for singles to meet new people and to date. But Jeremy Cohen and Tori Signorella from Brooklyn, New York found a way to do both.
I love this. So Jeremy tells us how their budding romance came about when social distancing was still so new.
I was quarantined alone in my apartment. Well, at first I was with my roommate, but he shortly afterwards left to be with his family. So it's just me in my apartment. And I found that being stuck inside of a box of my apartment actually inspired some creativity. I wanted to like create something. And naturally I was just looking out my window and I saw this thing happening that I thought was really interesting, where people were just going up to their roofs more frequently than ever to do these activities that they've never done before on the roofs, because the gyms were closed and the yoga studios were closed. And you know, so people were going up to the roofs and playing music and dancing and, you know, jogging around in a circle or working out. And I thought it was so interesting. So I started documenting it with my camera because I'm a photographer.
And one of Jeremy's photos was even recently chosen to be the cover of New York Magazine. Very impressive there.
It is impressive.
All right, back to Jeremy trying to woo Tori from his apartment though. So at first he decides to make some sort of contact by going out onto his balcony and waving to her. He documented the whole thing on TikTok. But it didn't end there.
I wanted to get in touch with her, so I wrote down my number on my drone on a piece of paper and then taped it on my drone and then ran up to the roof and flew it across and landed it right in front of her, and she got my number and texted me. At the time, I guess since I've been quarantined, it gave me an extra push to like make an effort to talk to someone, because I just craved any human interaction. So I don't know if I would have flirted. I probably wouldn't have flirted with her if it wasn't for the quarantine, to be honest.
Then, to take things to the next level, Jeremy got help from Tori's roommate and best friend Katie to coordinate a pretty romantic first date, all while social distancing, of course. Watch this.
And I coordinated with Katie to set up a dinner with a nice tablecloth, bottle of wine, and then it was super Gen Z that I Venmo'd her for it because I wanted to I wanted to pay for the dinner. I told Tori to come upstairs at 5. Meet me on the roof at 5, or come to the roof at 5. There's a surprise.
So they enjoyed an organic, microwavable dinner and had great conversation while chatting over FaceTime. And honestly, sounds like a pretty decent date, right?
Apparently it went so well, they decided they wanted to have a second date, but they really wanted it to be in person. Jeremy, it turns out, just so happened that he had recently bought a bubble suit, like an inflatable bubble, like from Bubble Boy, the movie from way back. So he suited up, he met Tori in person, shocked her at first, but after some laughs, they went for a lovely walk around the neighborhood together. It's love, it's romance, you know, bubble suits or whatever. You got to make it happen.
Okay, you're just breezing over the bubble suit. Who just randomly has that?
Right? It just so happened to be the most valuable thing he could possibly have at this time, I guess.
No one just has that. Anyway, I'm glad he did, and I love their little love story, and also really respect that they're still abiding by social distancing. So good for them.
Are you wearing a one-piece onesie right now?
Yes, I am. One piece.
I recognize the brand right there. I've got me and my wife have the matching ones. Can we see the whole deal?
Oh man, I got the whole camo onesie joint. I got the whole camo onesie with the
nice
with the flip. This is the perfect. They should have had an ad campaign for being shut in.
I absolutely should. Yeah, that was Wayne, Brady, and me, just casually bonding over our love of onesies. Listen, my wife and I got matching ones. I ordered it late one night, and I've never been so happy about a purchase anyway, especially during quarantine. They're so comfy. You got to do it.
How often do you wear your onesie, Jeremy?
Oh my God, they're on. Honestly, I'll just lounge around in it all day sometimes, other than when I'm doing this. Maybe I'm going to bring it to the show. I don't know.
I was just going to say, I expect you now to wear one during the show, so I'll be looking forward to that. And Wayne may be comfortably hanging out at home in his onesie, just like Jeremy does, in self-isolation. But prior to that, the comedian was hard at work on his new series on BYU TV called Wayne Brady's Comedy IQ. The show follows Wayne as he auditions talented kids from across the country, narrowing them down to 6.
From there, those kids participate in a 10-week comedy boot camp, testing them on their comedy skills before discovering who actually has the highest comedy IQ. So the show holds a special place in Wayne's heart. He tells me it's his career that inspired the series. Watch.
We created the show to kind of mimic my journey as a teen, starting acting at 16, starting in musical theater, then doing TV and film, and learning along the way, learning about improv and going, oh, I can do this, and learning to improvise, and then learning to write sketch, and learning all of these things as I went along. So the experiment was to prove, can you teach someone funny? Can you teach someone who has a set of skills, like they can sing, maybe they can dance, they can act, they can do impressions, they can do whatever. Can you then teach them the form of improv, of sketch, of stand-up, of writing? Can you teach them to think in a manner that will bring out the funny?
All right, a family that works together stays together. Wayne produces the show with his best friend and his ex-wife, Mandy, and she's by his side throughout the entire series. But their 17-year-old daughter, Miley, also makes an appearance. He tells me how she's following in his footsteps.
We did Bold and the Beautiful together last year, the soap opera, and we performed together on a couple talk shows singing. She's funnier, faster, smarter than I was at that age. And so she joined in the audition and kind of surprised me, because I said, sweetheart, you know you can't audition for this. And she just bulldozed her way in, and she was actually so good that I went, okay, we will leave it in, but you can't be on the show. Move.
Now, with his daughter going into entertainment, Wayne reveals the advice that he often gives her regarding her career and the advice that he wishes that he had gotten early on his career.
If I could go back in time and even give younger Wayne, this advice, or hell, even if I could go back to when I first got Whose Line and started getting attention, my thing to any person starting off in this business is you have to know who you are, which it's hard to say that to a teenager because puberty is a mess for all of us.
Right.
So how am I going to know who I am? But you have to find out who you are in order to really be funny. Once you embrace, these are the things that I like, these are the things I don't like, and this is what I stand for, then you can talk about it. Then you can have an opinion. If you don't have an opinion, then you're just regurgitating and recycling things that other people have said. So I would say the biggest rule to me is get to know who you are, and then you'll get to know you're funny.
Not only is Wayne Brady teaching his daughter about the industry, she's teaching him a thing or two as well.
We shot 2 TikTok videos the other day, and she was teaching me the dances. And you know, I can dance.
Well, right, yeah, you're in the game already. Listen.
Yeah, like I'm a dancer. But it's funny that I see some of these dances, and the kids just like, yeah, daddy, it's this, woo. We do this thing. I'm like, what the hell? We can't. We just do a nice kickball change and keep it moving.
All right, be sure to check out Wayne Brady's Comedy IQ when it premieres on BYU TV tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. Laura Prepon is the latest celeb to swing by couch surfing to take a look back at some of her much beloved performances. So one of her most memorable roles was, of course, Donna on That 70s Show, which is about a group of friends going through some ups and downs during when else but the 70s.
Laura revealed to host Lola Ogunaike the 2 words that landed her that iconic role. Take a look.
One of the things that's really funny is later, after I got on the show, I had said to our creators, Bonnie and Terry Turner, and I said, what was the thing that made you know that I was Donna? And they said, first of all, when you came in, you just were Donna. You were just Donna Pinciotti. You were perfect for her. And at the end of the audition, I looked at them and I said, we good? And I put my hands on the table and pushed up like a total tomboy. It was just how I got up from the table. They said that sealed the deal.
Laura returned to the small screen in Netflix's Orange is the New Black, where she played Alex, an international drug smuggler serving time in prison. Laura had the chance to even direct a few of the episodes of that show, and after starring and directing in one intense scene, she actually found out some amazing news. Watch this.
This was the first episode I directed on Orange. First of all, Taylor and I were wrapped in a shower curtain, naked, with our arms pinned behind our backs. So literally they'd put the tape over my mouth, and then I would be like, action! And right after we finished these scenes, I found out I was pregnant. So I was pregnant with my daughter this whole time, and I had no idea. I finished directing this day, and I felt and then the episode was over, and my directing job had finished. And I was exhausted, and I felt sick, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like someone might have had the flu on set. And I was walking down the street, my street in New York, and I passed by a vendor selling meat. I literally got so nauseous, and I don't normally, but this particular morning, it was affecting me. I was so nauseous, and I thought to myself, I'm pregnant.
You can see Laura dive into more of her past roles on PeopleTV's Couch Surfing.
All right, guys, coming up tomorrow, we are talking with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star Erica Jane ahead of season 10's premiere.
Plus, model and actress Molly Sims is sharing her top home workout tips and how she is keeping her kids active during self-isolation. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy, and we will see you here tomorrow on Tuesday.
Bye, guys.